This is a long requested, waited for. Let's do this again. Okay. This has been a long awaited and very much requested video from so many people, and it is tips and tricks on how to get your skin looking like this, Anyway, jokes aside, I think the biggest compliment or the most received compliment I have gotten in my life has been my skin. And so I'm always getting questions on what do I do for my skin, how do I get my skin to look like this. And now I want to first give a disclaimer. I am not a dermatologist, I am not a skin specialist, but I actually do and have taken the time to research a lot when it comes to skincare, not because of this video, but even way before this. I am a skincare enthusiast, and so I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to skincare. Why am I mentioning that? Because somebody might say, and which they would be valid in saying, that I've not really had problematic skin in my life, and so what could I offer you guys? And let me tell you something. I actually have a lot of knowledge to offer on skin, not because I've necessarily had so much problematic skin, but because I've taken the time to really research. You can ask my closest friends who I have been able to help with this knowledge. So trust me, okay? Anyway, before you get all the tea, before you get all the tips, make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you comment, that you like, and you share this video with a friend, because we want to grow our community and you want your friends to know what's happening, okay? Now, this is a unisex video because skincare affects every single body. So please, if you're a guy and you're here, welcome to the community. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for returning to my channel. Why am I saying channel? To my channel. And if you are a new subscriber or you're somebody checking in, hi, we have fun over here. Join us, okay? Anyway, so today let's get into skincare tips and tricks. I know any dermatologist worth their salt is going to tell you this, but you need to get your basics in order. What do I mean by basics? Basics of your skincare routine. Before we get into any mambo jumbo, oh this, I need to use this and I need to use the other, you need basics. What are the three basics? You need sunscreen. Let me repeat that again. Sunscreen, because sunscreen is very important. And then you need a moisturizer. Yes, even you guys with oily skin, everybody needs a moisturizer. You can get an oil-free moisturizer, but you need one. And then you need a face wash. Now, depending on what type of skin you have, of course, these products change, right? Not the basics, but the type of product you get. So let me explain. So if you have oily skin, you might get a moisturizer that is oil-free. If you have dry skin, you might have to get a moisturizer with lots of ceramides in it, or you have to get an extra hydrating moisturizer. Same with sunscreen. So we have two types of sunscreens: mineral sunscreens, chemical sunscreens. And chemical, the difference is just the mechanism. That's it. Like literally all of them work. Chemical sunscreen it goes into your skin and then creates a layer. And then mineral sunscreen, it's on top of your skin, so it sticks on top. That's why a lot of people use mineral sunscreen who have melanin, like we do, tend to have white casts because of the zinc oxide. The way it looks on our skin, it sits on top and it looks like that. So you might have to choose depending on how oily your skin is, or how dry your skin is, or how much your skin breaks out, right? Or how much your skin likes a certain product. And then with a face wash, so for example, I have normal to dry skin. I have pretty basic skin, so I use any face wash. Like I find any face wash in a supermarket, as long as it seems reasonable, I will use it. But if you have oily skin, you might have to opt for something that maybe has actives in it. Though even if you're getting an active face wash, you need to get a normal face wash, because you can't use actives every day on your skin, or exfoliating actives on your skin every day. So you might have to get like a salicylic face wash. And then if you have normal to dry skin, you might need to get just a basic face wash, maybe with some ceramides in it or with some hyaluronic acid, whatever the case, nothing too serious. Now, I can't exhaust all of those things, But the point is, get yourself a basic skin care routine. Thank me later. Even if you have not gone to the dermatologist, get yourself a basic skin care routine to begin with. The most important part being sunscreen. Sunscreen is what actually makes everything you're doing in your skincare work. If you don't have sunscreen and you're using things like, guys, please, let's leave using shea butter on your faces in like, I don't even know, I don't want to say like 2010, because like, no, we can't be serious. Don't get serious. Use sunscreen, okay? Oils are not sunscreens. Shea butter is not a sunscreen. Aloe vera is not a sunscreen. Sunscreen is sunscreen, okay? Get you a sunscreen, a reputable one that is either SPF 50 or above. That's one. So number two, as you get your basic skincare in play, you need to understand what are your skin concerns and what are you dealing with. What do I mean by that? So if you have normal to dry skin, or if you have oily skin, or if you have combination skin, those are the skincare types. Not skincare types, those are the skin types of, our facial skin. You need to understand what is your specific concern. So if you have oily skin, you might be dealing with overproduction of sebum, so you might have acne-prone skin. If you have extremely dry skin, you might also be dealing with acne-prone skin. You might have whiteheads, you might have blackheads, you might have strawberry skin, those little pimples that you see people have on their bodies. You could have eczema, you could have sensitive skin. You need to understand, first of all, what are your skincare concerns, because when you are purchasing a product, people really think that it's about okay, I've heard that people with oily skin use salicylic acid, so let me just buy something with salicylic acid. It's not necessarily that. What exactly are you dealing with, right? So for me, I'll give my example. I have normal to dry skin, but obviously I need to exfoliate my skin. So when you have normal to dry skin, salicylic acid might be too strong for you because it's usually meant for people who have oily skin or a lot of oil production on their skin. So you're going to probably opt for lactic acid, which is a gentle exfoliant but also hydrant, and you might opt for also mandelic acid, for example, right? So depending on what I'm looking to target, at that point, all I just need is exfoliation on my skin, and then I need hydration in my skin because I have normal to dry skin. So I'll be looking at lactic acid. But if you have oily skin, now people don't understand the differences in conditions as well. So you might have, sometimes people have acne, or sometimes they don't have acne and they confuse it with something else like blackheads, or they confuse it with something else like congestion in your skin, closed comedones. Those are all different types of things that you have to understand before you get into skincare, because you might think you need salicylic acid, whole time you need niacinamide to be able to get rid of something, okay? So you need to understand what is your skincare concern, what is your skin concern, and what product usually or active addresses the type of concern that you're having in your skin. That is how you'll be able to incorporate the other steps into your skincare routine, which is exfoliants and which is things like vitamin C and all of that, because maybe you're dealing with hyperpigmentation, or we talk about vitamin C a lot, but there's kojic acid, there's, different types of actives that could help brighten up your skin and fight hyperpigmentation. The next is a debate that I'm sure you've had. If you're a skincare person, you've had this with your friends. Physical exfoliation versus chemical exfoliation. Physical exfoliation is when we use scrubs on our face, like the sugar scrubs and those ones, yeah? And then chemical exfoliation is when we use actives to exfoliate our skin, like salicylic acid, mandelic acid, lactic acid, and such and such. Now, I will tell you, as somebody who has taken the time really, but you can speak to your dermatologist, physical exfoliation is not great for your face. It's good for your body. The skin on your body is quite different from the skin on your face. That's why we have so much going on over here while there's something else going on over here, right? Physical exfoliation, it's abrasions, and so you might cause micro tears on your face, and you don't think you're causing them because you can't see them, but they're called micro tears for a reason. So you are damaging your skin barrier, especially the people who exfoliate all the time. That is very, very unhealthy. I would say that physical exfoliations are best left to your body. For the face, chemical exfoliants are the way to go. If you use chemical exfoliants, First of all, I need people to understand that when you're exfoliating, when you're using physical exfoliants on your face, you're wasting your time. Why? Because usually if you have issues with your skin, like let's say you're having acne, or you're having closed commodores, or you're having whiteheads or blackheads, whatever it is, what you're seeing on top is a manifestation of what's happening inside your skin, especially if it's acne. Acne is from within. It's not what you see on top is just something that has come out, but the issue is actually within your skin. So when you exfoliate on the top, you're wasting your time because it's not going to enter any of your skin. Now, this is what I would like to reiterate to people who fear things like actives and chemicals. When I say chemical exfoliants, you're like, oh, look. I know we all probably studied chemistry. There's a reason why chemistry is a thing. It's because people study some properties and they understand how to blend them together in order for them to do something for you. A better way to explain it is if you use turmeric, people who go and get ingredients from the kitchen to clean their faces, right? It's not necessarily that you're wrong when you say that turmeric has certain properties or that tomatoes have certain properties. You're not wrong in that, but the percentage that your skin needs for either it to brighten or to dull or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you don't know that, right? The chemist knows that. That's why those products are created, because somebody studied that. First of all, for example, with our faces, certain formulas are made so that they're penetrable to your pores, to your skin, to enter your skin, right? If something is too big to enter your pores and your skin, it's not going to enter. You don't know that. You're not a chemist. You understand? Chemistry is not our enemy. Science is not our enemy, okay? No, the Bazungu are not trying to trick you to take your money. I promise you, it's just chemistry. That's it. So these people look at these things and they understand the chemistry behind it, okay? So chemical exfoliants go into your skin and clean out the pores, okay? Again, physical on top. You're not doing anything. You're literally washing away what is on top here. That's why you feel smooth after. But inside, you still have so many issues going on. So you need to get yourself a chemical exfoliant. Now, the chemical exfoliant you'll get is dependent upon your skin issues. However, it would better be a chemical exfoliant. First of all, it is sustainable in the long run, but it does more for you because you'll start to notice a real improvement, a consistent improvement in your skin. Not something that is mild and is present just for the feeling of at night when you're feeling like, oh my God, this is so smooth. But your body, you're not really experiencing that. But also in your body, if you're experiencing some sort of acne or issues like that, you're probably going to be given a chemical exfoliant. People experience back acne, you're probably going to be given a glycolic acid wash or a salicylic acid wash because you need to exfoliate the inside to get out the gunk. I hope I've exhausted that point, guys. Science is your friend, okay? Now, I say this next one with expertise because my field, I'm a marketer. So I can tell you this for a fact. You need to understand marketing gimmicks, branding versus actual ingredients and what they do for your skin. Let me explain it better. So I'm a marketer, and marketing is about selling a story. It's about appealing to the psychology of a consumer in order for them to buy our product. Now, there are certain regulations in place that enable you to kind of discern whether they're lying to you or not, but of course there's still room for, the white lies. And so if you find a product in the supermarket and it says this is going to whiten your skin or brighten your skin, whatever it is, the two are different, by the way, but whatever the case is, if it's saying that, how do I know that it's going to be able to brighten or whiten my skin? It's not by the lovely lady's picture that has been put there. That is branding. It is not by the fact that they put a big word on the box that says kojic acid. That is branding. What you need to do now, this is my biggest skincare secret that saves you loads of money in terms of not blundering with skincare products. It's turn to the ingredients and look at the percentages. Now, I don't mean percentages in terms of they've said that there's 5% of kojic acid, so you're like, no, that's not going to be enough. Look, percentages mean something completely different in chemistry. So, for example, if you're buying a salicylic acid, there's 5% and there's 8%. that means very different things from what you understand. You don't understand that, right? You're not a doctor, you're not a chemist, you don't get that. But just know that 5% is very strong, just as much as 8%. If you're comparing the two, you'd probably think, this isn't real, but this one is like good. No, they're strong, just for different purposes. What I mean by percentages is when you look at the ingredients, you need to look at the first 10 ingredients. If that active that is supposed to make your skin brighten, if it is not among the top 10, that is marketing. They have put a drop of it and they've told you that it's there and it's legal. Of course, they can say that it's a kojic acid product because there's some kojic acid even if it's 1% of the product. Have I made sense? So if you're looking at that product and you're thinking that it's going to brighten your skin, I need you to look at the back and see, is vitamin C among the first 10 ones if they're saying that it's vitamin C? Or even if they've not advertised and put an actual active on the box and said that, it's hyaluronic acid that we're using in this. If an ingredient is claiming to be extremely moisturizing, there's certain things that you need to know are moisturizing actives or ingredients. Glycerin, right? You need to have hyaluronic acid. You could have ceramides, right? Those are moisturizing ingredients. So if a product is telling me that it's extremely hydrating and moisturizing, I need to look at that and see those things there. Snail mucin, things like that. If those things are not at the back and all it's telling you is aqua, glycerin, and that's not super hydrating. That's an everyday basis. You understand me? In the first 10 ingredients, it's not there, then it's not there. Okay, and that's not going to help you do anything. If it's telling you it's exfoliating oily skin and you're saying salicylic acid is one of the last ones there, it's not going to help you do anything. Or there's no oily type of active that is going to help your skin. You need to understand what are those things that help your skin. So you need to be very informed. I'm always telling people the most power you'll ever get in skincare is not by leaning and waiting for doctors to tell you what to do. You need to inform yourself. These days we have no excuse, surely. Like, all this information is on the internet. You just need to know where to look, and you need to consistently look, and you will see, and these portals will open up to you and you'll start to understand a lot of this information. And it's there every day. Look, you have to know the actives for oily skin, you have to know the actives that do this and the actives that do the other, and what does this and what does the other, so that you stop falling for marketing gimmicks. Let me tell you guys a small story. Last year, a makeup artist did my makeup and she shaped my eyebrows, and I don't know what it is that she did, but it affected my skin and I got rashes on my forehead. If you know me, I'm pretty sure you must have seen last year, I got like rashes on my forehead. I've never had anything on my forehead, and I had like these little bumps, and I tried everything. Usually for me, if I have like some sort of breakout or something, I'll use like basic aloe vera and it will go away, and nothing worked. For the longest time, like 3 months down the line, I still had rashes on my forehead. I didn't understand what to do. I didn't understand what was going on. And so I was frustrated. Fast forward, I go to Carrefour, and I think that's how they say it, Carrefour, I'm not sure, I'm not French. And I'm looking at those products that they sell, and there's a brand called Cosmo. Look, people are sleeping on Cosmo. Look, I've read the ingredient list. Anyway, it's called Cosmo, and it's not sponsored, but they should. And when you're reading at the back, it was talking about I was looking for a brightening something serum, and it had kojic acid, all of these different things at the top, and niacinamide. And if you know niacinamide is used for texture. But usually, because I don't really have textured skin, getting a serum that has like maybe 7%, 8% or a higher percentage might have done damage to my skin. But that product had a blend of all of these different ingredients, and including niacinamide, and it cleared it within a week. Do you know how much that product cost me? 18,000. Actually, I think it was like 15,000. Yeah. That was not a product I got from CeraVe. I know you guys think brands matter. The brand doesn't matter. It's about the actives that are in the product. That's what matters. It doesn't matter whether it's from CeraVe or if it's from Clubane or if it's from, wherever. At the end of the day, what are the actives in these products? What are the ingredients in these products? That's what you need to understand. That's how you will know whether a product is going to work for you or if it's going to abuse your wallet, and that's it. So, and I only spent that much, and I was able to clear my, and that's because the actives are the actives that I needed for my texture to go away, because it's niacinamide. So if you take anything from me, please understand that brands don't matter, actives do. and the percentages. By percentages, I mean how much is in it. Look at the ingredient list, and you need to understand a basic routine for yourself, because that will always be something to fall back on before you include in any type of chemical exfoliants. Please understand your skincare concerns. We don't have the same skin, and so what works for me might not work for you. You have to understand what is it exactly that your skin needs, and that is how you'll be able to save up money from buying random products that you've seen every TikTok influencer use versus something that you might need for your exact skin. I hope this has helped, okay? Because you guys have asked so much for my skincare routine and whatnot, and I thought I wouldn't be doing you a service by telling you my skincare routine, because that is not what's going to work for you, right? I need you to understand how you can build yourself a perfect skincare routine, and these are the tips that have been able to help me maintain my skin and make it glow. If these have been helpful, let me know in the comments. And if you guys have any more questions about skincare, I'd really be happy to answer anything. You know, I don't get keep. And we're shooting at the beautiful Athena Hotel. Don't forget to come and check it out. So much. I love you. See you guys next time. Ciao.